What part of Ohio are you guys from?
The Cleveland area.
Cleveland area?
Yeah, so Jimmy and I both happen to live about 10, 15 minutes west of downtown Cleveland.
Oh, nice. And you guys grew up there?
And we did. There's a funny, kind of long, drawn out story of our existence together, our relationship, and how it sounds so weird. I'm trying to make this not sound creepy. It goes all the way back. Our fathers were in a band together in high school.
No way.
Yeah.
And best friends.
Best friends. Your dad was the best man at my parents' wedding.
Wow.
And then my parents moved away after, right after they got married, I think. And I ended up, they were in Washington, D.C., and they kind of moved around the country a little bit, but they ended up back in Ohio, but an hour and a half south of Cleveland.
Sure, yeah.
And then when I was 16, they moved back to the Cleveland area, the same town, actually, that my dad had gone to high school in, where Jimmy lived with his family, and it still wasn't our dads that introduced us, though.
No.
Which we're a little bit bitter about. Like, why didn't you?
Yeah.
It ended up that the house my parents moved into was 2 doors down from a bandmate of Jimmy's, and they saw me loading in guitars to my house and came over and introduced themselves, and we kind of just hit it off about that. But my mom saw him and said, "You're not related to Dave Weaver, are you?"
She's like, "You look so familiar. What's your name?" And as soon as I said Weaver, she's like, "Dave Weaver is your dad. Has to be your dad, right?"
I guess he looked like, their friend, because that was around that same age, probably, that my parents got married.
So you guys started doing musical, and you joined a band or writing and all that stuff around that time?
Yeah, I almost feel like that day we first met, that's kind of when we hit the ground running. We started doing demos together, and his band that he was in at the time that I was working at the studio we were talking about before, they had just recorded a record there, so I actually got to work with them as an intern, and we started kind of recording and creating ideas together, and then that led into more just like hanging out and creating songs at home with our various home studios.
I'm going to just jump in here. Jimmy is a very, very good engineer.
Oh, come on.
Really, really good. And
I picked up on that.
And it was really clear at a early age. So I think you were 18. Does that sound about right?
Yeah,
17 or 18?
Yeah.
And before we even worked on that record together in the studio you were working at, you were doing a home recording on a white MacBook.
Oh.
Original M-Box.
Yeah.
Definitely the M-Box. It might have even been like one of those old Gateway computers that came in the cow box.
Yeah.
But
I vaguely remember you had just gotten from your parents, maybe for like graduation or something, that you had just gotten the white
the first Apple MacBook. Yep.
But maybe I'm mixing eras. But you were recording in your bedroom at your parents' house, and I brought a guitar over to play a solo on a song you were doing. And it was the first time I had heard his productions.
Yeah.
And put on the headphones, listened to what he was doing, and it was so much better than the other stuff I had been doing sessions on in big professional studios. This, whatever you had cooking, was it blew me away. So I'm like, hey, anytime you want to work together. And then we ended up doing the record, and your work on that record was the best stuff.
Wow. Thank you.
Even better than like the guy we had hired to produce the record.
Yeah, man, sometimes that happens.
I mean, meanwhile, I think I was still in high school at the time, and Sam's a couple years older than I am, but you were a legend, and you are a legend. But especially then, you were a legend in the rock and
we're never this
community.
Nice to each other.
I know,
this is weird.
My gosh. I'm sitting behind my computer in my bedroom, feeling really self-conscious, like I can't believe Sam Getz is sitting here in my bedroom. I better not mess anything up. So to hear you say this is just incredibly flattering. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
I'm only going to say it once.